Welcome to Tularosa Church of the Nazarene. For those of you who don't know where Tularosa, New Mexico is, we commonly refer to it as 100 miles from nowhere, and that would be a pretty adequate description. We are about 100 miles northeast of El Paso, Texas, and 185 miles southeast of Albuquerque, which I might add, it's way easier to say Albuquerque than it is to spell Albuquerque, so I'm glad I don't live up there. But I certainly understand why they abbreviated ABQ. This church was built about 89 years ago. It has no running water, no sewer system. We do have new carpet and relatively new pews. And so you're probably wondering, if a church has no sewer system and no running water, how do you use the restroom? Well, until recent, that's been quite interesting because we just haven't had one. We do currently have a restroom now outside, which is in itself something to behold. I know it's difficult to grasp the concept of having an outdoor restroom in a fully functional outhouse, but we actually do. We received a very generous donation from a church in Mississippi, and we're able to repaint this and hook it up to the sewer system, which there's still a trench in my yard that needs to be filled up. And we got all new carpet and new fixtures and all of that, and we are very, very thankful for their donation, and we do appreciate that and know that God will bless them in return. As you can see, my church is multiple colors. The reason for that is because they had broken out the basement windows, someone had, and there's about 10 or 11 cats under there, so they chased them out and stuccoed up over the windows and repainted the portion that they stuccoed. Never bothered to repaint the rest of the building. We do have a new blue metal roof, which is nice. It was put in last year. The doors and the trim are now brown because when I arrived here about 9 months ago, they were salmon color, if a salmon would actually wear that color, but I'm not thinking that they would. And over here we have the parsonage, which is its whole separate ball game. It needs the front porch rebuilt. It's not completely falling through yet, but it's getting pretty spongy and starting to fall through. Over here, you can see that the trailer house desperately needs re-skirted. And we have about 10 or 11 cats that live under there, and every once in a while a skunk takes up residency too in the middle of the night. The ductwork all needs repaired. The cats have laid up on top of it to stay warm in the wintertime and pulled it down away from the trailer, so it's actually warmer under the house in the winter than it is inside the house. And in the summertime, the air conditioner runs, well, it's supposed to run anyway, and it's much cooler under the house than it is in the house, so the cats actually live better at present than I do, and so does the skunk, and they all need to move, and this needs to be re-skirted and the ductwork redone. We have the back porch is a serious problem to me because the parsonage is also our Sunday school rooms and where we have church potlucks, and by fire code I have to have my porches accessible, and this one is falling through in numerous places, and it's not readily what they would call accessible. Out here I'm starting to do a little bit of work in the backyard. Yes, I actually used the old toilets to plant flowers in, and my great palm tree. And this all used to be a huge weed patch and desperately needed some cleaning up, and as you can see it still does. We own just about everything as far as you can see, or about the size of a football field. So we actually have a lot of property over here. Sometime in the very near future, I'm going to put a swimming pool, above ground swimming pool here that somebody donated to the church. We have our barbecue, our picnic table, and it'll be kind of cool because in a way I will be one of the only people in town that actually has an above ground pool. Well, not the only person that has an above ground pool, but certainly the only person in town that has an above ground pool and a restroom in their backyard, so you don't have to send people to their house. There's a lot of work to be done around here, and as I said, there's not a lot really going on out here ever because we're out in the middle of the desert. And we certainly love the prayers that you give us, and we covet those, and we certainly pray for you in return. We thank you for any way that you are able to help us through prayer support or financially until we're able to get our feet back underneath of us again and start growing, and the Lord is working on that. 9 months ago when I moved here, there was about 6 people in the church, and recently I've been running about 12, so I'm very happy for the increase. The next next project I need to work on is putting a door on this shed after I make numerous trips to the landfill before my motorcycle grows legs and takes off to Mexico without me. And around here that's highly possible. Anyway, until we meet again in person or until we meet in heaven, God's blessings to y'all. And thank you for the opportunity to share with you. And if you ever all want to come down to the middle of the desert and hang out, we certainly would welcome that too. We can always find things for you to do. And would love to have you. God's blessings to y'all. Bye. Regardless.